The 2030 Challenge is something that the LEED is created by the USGBC, the United States Green Building Council. There's a local chapter, the Cascade chapter here in the Northwest, that has created a more ambitious goal than simply the LEED rating, and it's called the 2030 Challenge. It talks about aggressively reducing carbon emissions from buildings, and by 2030 being zero. And we're on track with where we would need to be in this project to meet the 2030 Challenge with this project today. Does that help? And I'm probably not the best person in the room that knows more about the 2030 Challenge than I do. We have, it's always easy for me to stand up and talk about a project. It really is a much larger group of people that are involved in making anything like this successful. I mentioned Carlos, but we have sustainability specialists in our office that help. We have a number of consultants that help us. The Green Building Services from Portland is helping with all of the ideas that we are able to achieve and bring into the building. The exterior of the building is one thing I want to talk quickly about because it's something that will be readily apparent. I mentioned the building as a landmark going forward. And I just wanted to point out the current lighting situation in the building. This is the current lighting at night at the Jack King Street level, where classic cheap Seattle light fixtures do a great job of lighting the face of the enclosure for the escalator, but not a very good job down at the street level. So we hope to address that as we go forward underneath the canopies. And then you can see down here, it's just not a very inviting environment to be going down into at night, particularly. And you can see in the tower that the clock face is quite washed out, and there's some blotchiness to the lighting on the top of the tower. This is the current lighting scheme. We did a number of, I guess this is, I'll quickly talk about the fact that we are planning to light more evenly underneath the canopies at the King Street level. We're planning to light the little windows in the tower as you go up. We're going to light them just enough to let you know that someone's kind of home, and really reconnect the tower, the top of the tower down to the base going forward. You can see in the existing condition there's sort of purple light and white light, and it's just not a very conducive environment for attracting people. We did a number of mock-ups of lighting to find the right solution over time. And you can see that this is the current situation. So there's the blotchiness. I don't know if those that you made it up to the top, you saw there's the two fluorescent fixtures kind of on a string. And the fact that there's a gap in them creates this gap in the lighting. We thought we could do better going forward. Also, the face of the light was so bright that you couldn't really figure out what time it was. And the arch lighting here was quite strong as well. The yellow that you see in this photograph is some of the protective blankets that we've applied so that the terracotta that's in quite severe shape will not fall until we have a chance to repair it very soon. And this is an example, and it's not 100% there, but it's just part of the process. I thought it was important to share the process that we've gone through to find the right solution for the light in the tower. You can see that we're beginning to get a more gentle light to this and something that's a little more even, and it improves over the glare and blotchiness that we had there before. So we feel we have a great solution for the top. We've changed the light fixtures I don't know if Carlos or anyone mentioned the light fixtures, but very simply by reorienting the lights that were there, we're able to get the light level down to a point where you can actually read the time on the clock. And that's what you'll see tonight, or if you look at it tonight, that's the way it is today. And then we're looking at the arch lights. These are LEDs here. Again, these are a little too blue, but we thought these were doing just about right, but significantly less illumination than was proposed in this scheme. So a little bit more gentle in the lighting of the tower going forward.
I have to say that it's so wonderful to see the tower lit, because for so many years it was not lit. And so it's really great to see that. So I hope you don't dumb it down too much.
Well, the hope is that again, you can see actually the blotchiness kind of existed historically. It will actually be brighter than it is shown here. This was one light fixture. I think Carlos, help me out.
We have
there's 7 or 10?
We got 12 fixtures.
12 fixtures. So this is just one of the sources. We were just looking to see if we could get it up and you wouldn't see the structure behind it. And we felt we were successful. We had a number of different nights when we were out there. This is just from one of the occasions. But so the 12 lights that we install I don't know that it will be as hot in certain locations as it is here, but hopefully it's a more even illumination, but certainly brighter than shown in the photograph here. This was sort of in process. photograph. So we've done a number of renderings of the way that we feel the lighting could work on the exterior. So this is the walkway across the Jackson Street Plaza. There'll be some step lighting to illuminate the pathway. The Gumby fixtures are here again, and we feel that these have LED lights, and so they're not providing a glare, but really they're sort of candles that help illuminate the pathway to the stair that would take you down to the compass room. And again, the canopy lighting will really wash the face of the building and then provide a welcoming lighting quality, we feel. You can see here the lights illuminating up to the tower. And then from the King Street level, looking back at the station, again, because the face of the building at this level is granite, a little washing of light really brightens it, and then we'll spill that light onto the sidewalk and the walking surface to, again, provide a more inviting environment. Again, you can see the tower. It's got a little pink, purple here, but the tower, the desired illumination again at the top, more even. One thing I want to point out, we've removed the Chief Seattle lights from the canopy area over here, and we've relocated them within the district. And so the 5 light fixtures that you see in this illustration is where we would relocate them. So they really are helping to line your pathway to the station in a way that is much more consistent with the application of the fixtures throughout the entire Pioneer Square area.
A comment?
Yeah.
On this one, in the previous slide, if you could jump back one, have you ever thought of just a little bit of lighting of the cornice up there? It's such a nice cornice. Should it disappear at night?
Well, it's funny you'd say that.
I'm trying to be funny.
Could you repeat the comment, please?
Sure. The comment was, did we ever think about the building, as you see in this illustration, there's a lot of dental work that goes on in the terracotta around the perimeter. And the comment was, did we ever think of maybe illuminating that? And in fact, this is an earlier illustration that I borrowed. You can see this sort of white band here. This was a diagram at one time saying that we would in fact illuminate that. As you may be aware, projects of this nature, any project in the Pioneer Square area, we go in front of the Pioneer Square Preservation Board. And I think generally there was support for lighting that would be consistent with lighting that was there historically. There was much less support for lighting that would make the building something other than what it had been historically. And so there had not been lighting historically as a cornerstone. So we eliminated that from the proposal at that time. So that's the sort of parting shot, and hopefully the view that we'd all see one day of the King Street Station